Come on now. Yeah. It's us against everybody fool. Nothing but the Bulls. Nothing but the Bulls. It's us against everybody. Y'all should know the rules. Nothing but the Bulls. Nothing but the Bulls. Live from the man house on Madison, between Damon and Ashland. You see a team of warriors in black with red with some white accents, ready for action. For any set of 18 ballers claiming they active, y'all better ask them LA boys what really happened. It don't matter home or away, we catching y'all lacking. Why you laughing? Think it's all get easy. We send Josh from half court to get busy. We rise quickly because I said he never cower. Be like trading family tree and send us all our flowers. Send them to the locker room, crying in the shower. The way we pull it up, section 25th hours. It's us against everybody, we the crown jewel. Nothing but the Bulls, nothing but the Bulls.
What's up, Bulls Nation? I'm your host, Young Jordan. Rocking with me as always as my co-host is my guy, John and C Red. Together we are bros. And welcome to Nothing But Bull. Unfortunately, due to a scheduling conflict, Jason Caffey was not able to join us. That episode will be postponed for a later time. But hey, we got some stuff to talk about anyway, right, John?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of great things. A lot of things to be excited about. Coaching candidates, that's still a fluid situation. I think we're kind of getting locked in with Caleb Wilson, which is a great thing. And, it's really intriguing right now is seeing who might slide to us 15 if we stay there. So definitely a lot of coupled with the NBA Finals that's going on. So good time to be a basketball fan, Bulls fan and all.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Caleb Wilson, it looks like a lot of Bulls Nation want Caleb Wilson to be that pick at number 4, and it seems that he has the same sentiments because he was asked about if he was to be picked by the Bulls, what would he bring? And he said, hey, I'm going to change the culture. And that's a bold statement for a rookie to just come in and say, yo, I'm going to change the culture. We're going to win. We're going to get back to the championships that are behind me.
Yeah, and he even related the UNC connection. He didn't say MJ's name, but he brought that up as well as a connecting point. So definitely like the swagger. He seems like a larger than life personality. Just go on, Bulls kick ass on Twitter. They've been doing their thing on X, doing their thing, posting videos of Caleb Wilson. It's been going on the net. He's been at the NBA Finals. He's been interviewing a lot of players. He even, Kat said to him last night, I'll see you here. And, Caleb Wilson's reply to that was maybe next year, the year after. So he's definitely got it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great to see him out there like networking with players because we know how the NBA is today, where if you're close with some players, they'll want to come to a team and team up with you. We know how that started, but that's pretty much the way of the NBA, and it's really not changing at this point. So him just being there talking to players like Kat, it's great networking, and it's potential to have somebody want to come here and play with Caleb and say, hey, I see what you're doing over there in Chicago. Let me come over there and help you, and we can get these rings.
Well, and my favorite interview was actually the one with Dylan Harper, where, he was actually humble enough. I loved it. Dylan Harper mentioned a dunk, some pickup game they had. He said, yeah, he said, I got you on that one. And Caleb said, you did. That surprised me. I'll get you on the next one, and you can just see the camaraderie between the two. I'll tell you what, man, Dylan Harper, Ron Harper's son, future Bull, I'm seeing it already. I bring me Dylan Harper when the time comes. That guy's going to be a star. That guy is going to be a star. And
yeah, I definitely knew where you were going with that once you mentioned Dylan Harper. You would tell me you definitely want him as a future Bull. Of course, his dad, Ron Harper, played and won 3 rings with the Bulls. And that last 3-peat, would definitely love to have him in the future. I don't know if like it would be because the Spurs will have a tax issue because I just don't see them letting anybody go.
Eventually, I mean, with these players making 50, 60, 70 million a year, you can only afford but so much. You know, let's say Dylan Harper and, you know, Castle, they end up getting, you know, Wemby's already set to probably break records with salary. Let's say they make first, second, third team All NBA. They're going to be eligible for max as well. So, you know, it's it definitely will make for something interesting. But yeah, it's definitely just great to see Caleb out there networking. You know, really doing his thing in the finals, interviewing people, being interviewed. And another thing, you know, the cherry on top, he was wearing a red jacket, and red looked really good on him. So
yeah, he's getting ready to wear a whole lot of red and see red potentially.
That's right. That's right. Now we need to draft him and get him to Bulls Fest. So.
Yeah, I'll put in the word that we need whoever we draft.
Yeah.
You know, potentially we're talking about it like we know Caleb's our pick, but you never know how it shakes out on draft night. It could potentially still be Cam Boozer or Darren Peterson. Very, very, very long shot that it would be AJ DeBanzo. But you know, people have said how, you know, Boozer is going to be like NBA ready right away, giving you 20 and 10. And you know, I wouldn't be mad if that's who our pick ended up being. But I know you feel like Caleb has a bigger, higher ceiling.
Yes.
For the future, even though Boozer would probably be a better player at the beginning of their careers.
Yeah, that's what I see. Boozer, you know, a lot of people say he's not athletic, but he's got good handles. He's got a very good shot, and honestly, his passing ability is off the charts. You know, he's honestly like he can play the ball like Jokic can, you know, from power forward position. So he's going to be a really good player. I would not be surprised at all if he gets Rookie of the Year. But you know, 2, 3, 4 years from now, you know, I see Caleb potentially being top player in the whole entire draft. So,
yeah, I think he definitely has the highest ceiling.
Yeah,
of the top 4. As Missy said, she wouldn't be mad at anyone at the top 4.
Oh yeah.
Yes, as long as it's the top those out of those 4. Like,
yeah, not Acuff or, you know.
Yeah,
some people are saying that still.
Not some type of AK move
Yeah.
where he just reached and selected Patrick Williams at 4.
No, absolutely not. But I'll tell you one thing that I love about Caleb Wilson is, first of all, he's probably the most athletic. He's got the most hops. You know, he's just so explosive. His shot looks good. His shot looks very good. It's honestly, it looks a lot like KG's. It looks a lot like Kevin Garnett's shot. He didn't shoot a lot of threes. He didn't hit a lot of threes in college. I think he was only 7 for 27 for the year. But at the same time, he said that wasn't my job. You know, coach didn't want me shooting threes. My job was to, you know, play from the post, inside, mid-range. He wasn't really told to shoot threes. It's a different game in college a little bit than the NBA. But I'll tell you, the thing that sticks out to me the most, he has got that mentality. He's got that drive. He's already said it. He said he likes to think about things that angers him, that makes him angry, to give him motivation and fuel for the next game. Who else said that? Who else did that? Who else lived that way?
I took that personally.
And I took that personally, exactly. If you don't know, go watch The Last Dance. So, you know, so definitely, you know, But again, I would not be upset if we got Cam Boozer. I would not be upset at all. He's going to be a great pro as well. Honestly, I would not be happy if we end up landing Darren Peterson. He would have a lot to prove. And it's not because he's not talented. He's very talented. He's got the game. Does he have the mindset? And one thing that kind of threw me off about him was he claimed, "Oh, I'm not a shooting guard, I'm a point guard." But you go back and look at his numbers, he only averaged 1.5 assists per game. And his last 32 assists, he had 32 turnovers. So how is that point guard ability? To me, he's going to be he's going to be like a Devin Booker maybe, with more. Booker's got more playmaking than that, I believe, though. But I didn't like that. Cramping, using cortisone as the reason. Not cortisone, sorry, it was creatine. Creatine, yeah, creatine as the reason for cramping. I don't know, man. You've got a medical staff. Knowledge is this. Like, how much creatine will you take? When I lift, I take anywhere from 5 grams to 10 grams and never felt cramping. So just didn't like the excuses. And I'll tell you, if BG is going to draft him, I think they're going to dive deep and really, really dig deep into where his mentality is, where he really is. They're going to have to. Now, another thing too, he went to Kansas with the intention to go to the NBA. He didn't want to go to Kansas. He didn't want to play college basketball. He made that very clear. I'm here to go to the NBA. I've talked to a few big time, Kansas fans, Kansas basketball fans. They've been fans since the Danny Manning days, since the late 80s. And they were infuriated with Peterson. They couldn't stand him, because of how he handled not playing. So yeah, anyway, enough about Peterson. Hopefully we get Caleb Wilson. If not, Cameron Boozer. I would be pretty much equally happy with either one. I wouldn't be upset with either one. And Peterson, I would have to grow into that. I would have to see. He'd have a lot to prove to us as Bulls Nation. I think everybody would have to agree with that.
Danny says, "Ouch! Not a point guard with them stats."
Yeah.
Words of the 32 assists, 32 turnovers.
I mean, come on. That's and honestly, I've seen where he's got comparisons to Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you. I don't see Kobe Bryant. You know who I actually see? I kind of see Kobe White. Honestly, he reminds me of Kobe White when Kobe White was at his top. Very similar game. So do we want another Kobe White that wants to play half a season and, grumble because whatever, this and that, add a locker room kit? No, we don't want that. We don't need that. We need someone with the mindset of Caleb Wilson, who said, I'm going to change the culture, with the mindset of Cameron Boozer, who said, if you draft me, you're hanging banners up in that rafter. Okay, that's what we need. That's the mentality we need. And whether if we pick Boozer or Wilson, one of those two guys, they're going to be, they're really going to be our top guy. They're going to be our blueprint. So definitely looking forward to it. Can't wait. We've only got what's today? The 4th?
4th.
So we got 19 more days until the draft. So next thing I think we could jump into, unless you wanted to add more about Caleb or Cameron or even AJ.
Like Missy says, relax on the Mamba comps. I did see a comparison to him, Peterson being Devin Booker with better tools. Okay.
And then Stacey King tweeted during the Cavs-Knicks game that, he's a lot like Donovan Mitchell. I don't know. So
I mean, I could see Donovan Mitchell, but definitely not Kobe.
No, absolutely not. Definitely not Kobe. So 15, that's where it's going to get really interesting. Number 15 is going to get very interesting. What are the what do you think is the probability of BG moving up in the draft? Maybe a few slots, maybe from 15 to 11 or 12, maybe 9, 10. You think that's something we might have?
It's very possible.
Yep.
From the latest rumblings that who they've been working out with people that
Mhm.
are like scheduled to go top 10. So
Yeah.
I mean, and a jump from 15 to 11, you really wouldn't have to give up anything significant. Um, Shout out my man AJ, who says at least we can agree that Graham seems fully committed with doing this rebuild, starting fresh instead of half-assing it. And yeah,
Oh
like,
yeah.
he said, you know, we're building from the ground up. We're at step zero basically. So
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see if there is anybody that he's like, okay, we need to move up a couple of spots because that's our guy.
That's our guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's our guy. I mean, it could even be, it could even be the Illinois guy, Keaton Wagler. Keaton Wagler, who's projected to go, top 6, 7, 8. He interviewed him the other day. That might be. I mean, it's a Chicago guy. Who knows? Kingston Flemings was another player that was interviewed. So, but for the 15th, if we end up staying there, we're obviously going to get a player that's going to just fall. Everybody basically, because we had the first pick outside of the lottery, I should say, number 15. So obviously, someone who's going to fall to that pick is going to be someone who's projected to go in the lottery. My guy, the guy that I want, especially if we get Wilson, he also checks off all the boxes on Slap. That's Cameron Carr, who is, a shooting guard, 6'6", 7'1" wingspan. Athleticism is compared to Ramina's boy, Zach LaVine. I had to throw that in there. But he's got defensive tenacity, great shooter, great athleticism. A guy that's, supposed to go in the top 12, but he could very well fall. That's a guy I would like to see at 15. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm definitely right there with you with Cameron Carr at 15. Because you know what he has, right?
He's got Slap.
He's got that slap.
He's got the Slap.
And, we definitely need that on the roster.
Yes.
A lot of people think that's the only qualifications that BG is going to be looking for, but it's kind of unrealistic that you're going to find a whole team full of people who fit all the criteria of size, length, athleticism, and physicality. But, as long as you can check most of the boxes, I think we would be in pretty good shape. Shout out to everybody in the comments saying give them P. Will.
Yeah.
I will pack his bags my damn self. I'll drive him to O'Hare. I will catch a flight to O'Hare just to take his ass to O'Hare and ship him off.
Well, I'll tell you what, if BG could somehow, finesse a team to take on P. Will's contract, and especially if we can get, imagine even if we get like a first-round pick. We'll obviously have to add someone else in. Man, he's going to be close to having his banner up there already in the rafters with Phil Jackson and all the players.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way in hell we get a first pick for anything involving Pat.
Anything involved, maybe, but maybe not. If Giddy's involved, for example, something along those lines. But if we can include P. Will in any capacity and get a number one, a first round unprotected, that's asking too much. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Cameron Carr is definitely the guy I'm most interested in. Another guy that I really like is Morez Johnson from Michigan. Was a big part of that championship team. He's got a lot of, he also has the slap, but what he really compares to is Daniel Gafford. Doesn't have much of a shot, but he's like a pogo stick there in the low post. Get you blocks, rebounds. He's a rim protector, something this team really needs. Now, here's the thing, though. How well would he fit with Caleb Wilson? Defensively, amazing, but neither of them really has a consistent outside shot at this time. But having said that, I still like him. I still say if he's on the board, you get him. Cameron Carr, if he's on the board, you get him. But if he's not, Morez Johnson is another guy I'm very interested in. Yaxel Lendenberg, who was a huge part of that Michigan championship as well. He also gives you a little bit of that slap, power forward, 6'10", 240 pounds. The one thing that's interesting, he's 24 years old. He's a lot older than even some of the Bulls players that have been on the team for a couple of years. So it's reminiscent of, Taj Gibson, who had a very long career. Matter of fact, I think he even played a little last year, if I'm not mistaken. He got signed up by a team, can't remember who. The Knicks, maybe? I think it was the Knicks. Anyway.
Being on the Hornets.
Was it the Hornets? It was the Hornets. You're right. It was the Hornets. And then Ayo DeSumo also came in. So, that's not necessarily a bad thing. 24 isn't old. Still fits our timeline very well. He'll be getting into his prime right as we, are hopefully getting into ours. So, yeah, that's another Yaxel Lendenberg. Look out for him as well.
Yeah. Shout out to my AJ for bringing out Chris Sinak Jr. He's got some 3-point shooting flash. Definitely a project, though.
Chris Sinak Jr., yeah. I'm referencing the NBA draft.net website. And Chris Sinak is currently projected to go number 17 to OKC. I've seen him in some mocks where he's top 12, 11. So it's very fluid. We don't know. This is one of the deepest drafts in NBA history.
Yeah.
This is a draft where, if BG can somehow transfer 2 second-round picks, the 38 and the 52 that we have, which, by the way, the last time we drafted 38, what we got, right? Ayo DeSumo. He's our last number 38. So what I'm saying with that is even at 38, we could still get a borderline all-star like Ayo. It's possible in a draft like this. But if he wants to take those 2 picks and maybe package a couple other second-rounders that were given to us by AK, at the trade deadline, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It wouldn't be too bad to maybe get another, late first-round pick somewhere in the early 20s, 21, 22, 23. But we'll see. It's one thing I'll say about BG. He's definitely working hard. He's still got his coaching candidates flowing. It's like every day it seems like we have another guy that's going to be interviewed, and which is fine. I like it. We're not in a rush to have a coach. We don't need a coach right now.
Right.
Matter of fact, we don't even need a coach before the draft. We don't need the coach to have input on who he wants. He comes in, and this is who he coaches.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
shout out.
Speaking of,
he said Taj was with Memphis at the end of the season.
Memphis. Okay. Memphis. So, speaking of, Taj was Memphis. Yep. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. Cameron Carr would be my guy if he's still there at 15. Thank you.
Yep.
Cameron Carr for show. I agree. I think from what I've seen on Twitter, from what I've seen in the Bulls fan group, I'm seeing Cameron Carr and Wilson's name more than anybody. There have been times where I've tried to sell people, even on Cameron Boozer, with stats and metrics on, his length, his versatility, everything that he brings. And I'll tell you, multiple groups, not just Bulls fan, I'm getting a lot of heat. No, Wilson's our guy. Wilson's our guy. That's the guy I want, which is cool. Gotta love it. Cameron Carr, man, we get Cameron Carr, we get Caleb Wilson. You give us an A++.
Yeah, that's pretty much the consensus so far is Caleb and Carr, and
Yep.
that would pretty much fill a need in both positions that we really need some help with.
Oh yeah.
You put Caleb at the power forward, you slide Modest to the 3, and then you have Cameron Carr next to Giddy, who would help obviously with Giddy's defensive miscues at times. And Cameron Carr, Caleb Wilson, whoever, you need a point guard who can get them the ball. And
That's right.
that is something that Josh Giddey is very good at.
Absolutely.
He will find you. He hasn't really had too many shooters around him. So Cameron Carr, and you add a couple more shooters in free agency, then I've seen a lot of people thinking that we're going to be a bottom 3 team next season, and if all those pieces are added, I don't see bottom 3.
Well, you know what? Being a bottom 3 team doesn't do you any good in the draft anymore.
Right.
Being anywhere between the sweet spot right now for us, believe me, I'm if we make the play-in with this team, okay, I consider that a success based off of it being a new team, up and coming. Okay, let's keep advancing. But honestly, we're not ready for that. We need to build through the draft. It's been proven. You build through the draft. Just look at OKC. Look at San Antonio, the Knicks to a degree. I know they got Brunson in free agency, but that's the way to do it. The draft, you build through the draft. If we end up getting anywhere, if we finish the bottom 4 through 8, 9, whatever, that gives us a lot more likely to get the number 1 pick. So,
shout out
midnight here in England. Appreciate you being here with us from England at midnight. That means a lot. Appreciate that.
Chris has popped up in the chat.
Yeah, my chain broke. I got to get a new chain. Matter of fact, I was shopping for one earlier. I had that. No, I'm not even joking. I have had that chain since I was in Moscow back in, I want to say it was 2012. I got it. And I wore it every day. It was a very high dollar chain in Russia. It was a gift actually. So, but yeah, it broke after 14 years of wearing it. So
we'll be good in like 4 years is what that says.
We will be good in 4 years. Yeah. When you say good, are we talking championship good? Or are we talking, Ben Gordon, Luol Deng good? Baby Bulls good with Kirk Heinrich and Chris Duhon.
Missy said, "Who you fight with?" The chain broke it.
A dog attacked me. Big dog.
if you're scared by a dog.
Yeah. You get scared. Yep, absolutely. Definitely 2 seasons away from playing minimum, and I'm fine with that. Look, we need to build through the draft. We need to, not play for, I don't want to say play for draft positioning because that gives the aura of tanking. I think that we're going to be so young. The coach is more than likely going to be an inexperienced coach when it comes to being a head coach. So together we're going to grow together. The players are going to grow together with the coach. And since I've hinted at that, there was Brett Siegel earlier today announced something very interesting. So Bulls will be finalizing their list next week. So right as the finals are probably coming to a close is when we're going to find out who our next head coach will be. Sean Sweeney was right at the top with Chris Quinn before taking the Magic job, which, by the way, why do you think we lost out on Sean Sweeney, Derek? I mean, he looked like he was ours.
Quick shout out to Gio. He says,
right, Gio.
He says that we will be D-Rose type good in 4 years.
D-Rose type good. Okay, I can dig it. But I'm tired of being, at best our ceiling being the conference finals. I'm ready for more championships. I'm tired of waiting for 7. So hopefully the ceiling is MJ. Maybe not quite that good, but at least a championship, one or two would be nice.
Yeah, I don't think like a dynasty three-peat is going to be replicated by anybody anytime soon. I mean, we've seen 8 different NBA champions.
Yeah, the parity is real. The parity is definitely real. I thought with Antoine Carr. No, it was actually Jerome Williams, the junkyard dog, the former Bull. Ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof.
That's right. But yeah, going back to it, Chris Quinn and Micah Nora are still up there among the candidates, and one that really has me scratching my head is I can't remember. Well, of course, I can remember his name. I'm just messing around. Wes Unsteld's son, the former Bullets champion, Junior. Okay, is considered as a candidate still, which has me scratching my head. So,
that guy sucks.
Well, does he suck, or was he just trying to play for draft positioning when he? I don't know. I trust in BG. I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not going to be happy if it's Wes Unsteld Jr.
Yeah. I mean, that Wizard team was like terrible, like absolute garbage.
Oh, awful.
That game he subbed in for Billy when Billy's father's died, and that was probably the worst that we looked the whole season.
The whole season, yeah. I heard Thiago is on the short list. Thoughts? You know what? He's not on it anymore, according to the Brett Siegel post. Doesn't mean he's still not on it. Doesn't mean he's not going to be the head coach. He hasn't, But Thiago Splitter, you got to really think about what he did in Portland last year. He took a team. Chauncey Billups basically goes to jail for getting caught with manipulation of gambling to a degree. Something really ugly there. And he took something that was very ugly and really made it something good. They made the playoffs. Denny Avija had a career year under him. The players really respect him. I wouldn't be mad if he's our guy. That would be fine. I would be fine with that. My top two candidates that I would really like, Chris Quinn and Micah Nori. I like them both a lot. Come from winning programs. But yeah, Thiago Splitter, I would be fine with that as well.
Yeah, I'd be fine with Splitter. Seeing what he did with Portland. I mean, they had the controversy with Chauncey, and he got them into the playoffs, which they had not been in years. And we're going to need somebody that's going to be coaching young players and player development up and coming. Like you said, Denny Avia had a career year. And this coaching hire is not that it doesn't necessarily have to get you back into the playoffs or a championship. This isn't like a point A to B coach. This could be the guy that helps set the foundation before we get a coach who can take us to the final step. Pretty much like how Doug Collins prepared the
You read my mind.
And
you read my mind. Yep.
We fired him. We brought in Phil, and Phil just took them to that next step that they needed to get to. That
you absolutely read my mind. And that's the thing. Like, we need a guy that's going to come in, like you said, lay the foundation and change the culture. That's number one. Change the culture. Much like Tom Thibodeau did. Yeah. They just moved too slow for Sweeney.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they did. Thinking about it objectively, which team is going to get you? Orlando's already a playoff team. Yeah. He might not have wanted to take on a team that's basically starting from the bottom. That might not be what he wants.
Which is true.
Yeah.
But
so
my reasoning on why I get Sweeney.
Yes.
Chat. Maybe some of y'all can guess my reasoning, but how many reports did we hear about Orlando being linked to a guy who coached a college team in the state of Florida and won a couple championships and won Billy Donovan. And it seems like the Magic interviewed Billy and he just fucking sucked in his interview and they said, no, we can't hire him. We need Sean Sweeney.
Exactly. I mean, just think about it objectively. You know, we're all Bulls fans. Of course, we want the top candidate, which was Sean Sweeney. If I'm Orlando, I'm not even thinking about Billy. I'm going after Sean all the way. And if not Sean, then Micah Nori and some of the Chris Quinn, some of the other guys we mentioned. Well, I wouldn't even touch Billy. Oh yeah, Melissa, you were right. I love it. You know, and I see Micah Nori as being a culture changer. I see Chris Quinn came from the Heat culture. Don't like the Miami Heat, but we got to respect them. We got to respect that franchise and what they've done since Pat Riley, you know, started there 30 years ago. You know, they've consistently been a very good team. So we want a player, a coach, I should say, from a winning program.
Yeah. A lot of players have also said that, you know, Quinn is pretty much a Spoelstra clone.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So definitely a very fluid situation. I love it. Cannot wait. Hopefully the next time we have our show, which will either be draft night or the night after, as we're, you know, diving deep into the players we drafted, we can also dive deep into the coach we just signed. So
Gio said, I don't know why. When you said Billy Donovan, I started seeing him chewing gum in my head. It's an image that has unfortunately been burned into Bulls fans' brains for the last 4 years.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I say he was still haunting us one more time. That's why we didn't get Sweeney. But hey, like you said, it could have just been Orlando's already a playoff team, and he didn't want to start with the team from the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all good. This is an actual coaching search, and I don't know how many we've actually had legit coaching searches. Because we know when they fired Tibbs, they already had Hoiberg set up. That was like the worst kept secret in the NBA at the time. Hoiberg comes in, you promote egghead ass Jim Boylan.
That's the markings of BG. He's changing the culture from the front office too.
Yeah. Boylan gets fired and Billy Donovan leaves OKC and he's automatically our coach. So
yeah,
I like that BG is actually taking his time and going through a coaching interview process.
Yeah. Very methodical. Gotta love it.
He just says, you're not worried.
Not at all. Not at all.
None of them have experience as a head coach.
Splitter's the only one that has experience, and that's a year. That's just 1 year. More than likely, he's not even on the final list. Like I said, it doesn't mean we're not going to get him. But everyone on that final list, aside from Wes Unseld Jr., has not been a head coach.
Yeah.
See you right till the deathbed, Missy.
Definitely. Thanks for joining, Missy. I think we are pretty much going to get out of here as well.
Yeah.
We will definitely get back with Bulls Nation after the draft, and we can talk about, hopefully, Caleb and Carr as being new Bulls. Not necessarily the coach will be signed by the draft, but, you know, maybe it'll be more news into that search. Maybe we hear a little bit of news about maybe more candidates or who they're looking at as second interviews or things like that. We will try to reschedule the Dynasty Series episode with Jason Caffey. Hopefully I get a response from him soon, and maybe we can set that up in the coming weeks. But if not, you know, we'll still keep it rolling with Nothing But Bull, and we'll holler at Bulls Nation soon. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this stream. Like and subscribe so you can be updated when new episodes are coming out. And until then, See red to the deathbed.
Bulls Bros.
Yes, sir. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.